Yep. Ton of credit to Ohio State. Very, very challenging matchup. In my opinion, they've got the best player in our league, and his name isn't Liddell, and that's no offense because he's terrific. Malachi Brannon is terrific. Big, strong, physical. They got in a nice routine where they were ball screening, popping. They do a good job of pulling Kofi away, but that young man's pretty special. And but I'm excited for our guys. I thought they fought like crazy. I thought they were dialed in. I think it makes me so excited is I think we found a new way to play. I liked our 5-out stuff. It's stuff we had worked on a lot early in the season. Coleman Hawkins was spectacular. Obviously Plummer was elite, 8 of 10 from the 3. He's been shooting that cover off of it in practice and is a special talent. But loved our fight at the end. Watch it on TV. Very disappointed that call wasn't made. If you guys will remember, that's the same call that they called on Coleman Hawkins at the end of the Michigan State game, so I guess we're not Michigan State. But no doubt we didn't get the call. But give Ohio State a lot of credit, and they deserve to win the game, but we're sure not going to hang our heads, and it's very rare that Kofi has a night where he's minus 19 or plus minus.
Questions?
Coach, free throw disparity was a really huge stat in the game, obviously. Was that Ohio State being the aggressor, or were some things you saw in the calls that just weren't going your way?
No, most of them were my technicals. That's why I was angry. That's why I was, I was frustrated. They're aggressive. They had 7 assists all night. They don't do anything off the pass. They do everything off the bounce. They're a low assist team, and so they got us downhill. But it was credit to them, and they got to the foul line and made them.
Good.
I assume the 5-out, you didn't consider going to it earlier because you have the National Player of the Year candidate, even though he was a little bit ineffective. It's got to be a hard decision to make.
Yeah, I subbed him out early. We went to it in the second half. You're going to ride your horse down. Nobody believes in Kofi Cockburn more than me. That dude is special. And unfortunately, I don't know, what was he from the field? Missed 10 layups. He missed 10 layups. Well, 9 layups and a jump shot. That doesn't happen. We know that. He's one of the top field goal shooters. And again, maybe that's their defense. But Kofi's seen just about all of it, and tonight just wasn't his night.
Jerry?
Brad, you get the crowd pretty into it as you left the court. Just what's going on in your mind when that's happening?
Just that. You do something to rally your team. I was fighting for Kofi. I was fighting for, everything that I didn't think was going our way. And I am really proud of them. They responded. They rallied. Got the best fans in the country. Had a layup. Had a layup to tie it. These guys fought back, man. That's a prideful bunch. You can write that we lost, but the biggest story is how much pride this group has and how hard they fought. And like you said, there was a few things gained tonight as well.
You talk about the pride that this team has in the fight. Coleman said that you guys had kind of a heart-to-heart conversation about adversity and not quitting. What went into that conversation for you, and what's it mean for him to be able to respond to maybe his best game of the season tonight?
Well, my title's coach, and coach is psychiatrist, ball coach, help them with academics, but help and build relationships that you can have really hard conversations. And we do that in this program. I'm not here to sugarcoat them and tell them they're great all the time when they're not. And, you know, nobody believes in Coleman more than me. And we got a glimpse tonight of Coleman's talents. And, you know, he wasn't playing to that level. He was in whatever kind of mental funk he was in. And we need to get him out of it. For us to go where we want to go in March, we needed to get him out of it. And tonight, he's actually been great in the last 3 or 4 games. So we need Coleman Hawkins to be terrific because he's a guy that can play at the next level.
What was your experience like watching that comeback, I guess, on TV in the locker room?
I was probably still coaching. You know, I wasn't a big fan of DeMonte's foul, and but we ran great action. We were fighting. We were competing. You know, I just pacing back and forth in the locker room, and the staff did a great job, and the players made plays. And you know, I was praying for an opportunity to tie it, and we got one. So it was not near as much fun as wish it was on the sidelines, but it couldn't be that way tonight. Couldn't be that way.
So 2 things logistically, how did you come up with the plan for what happens when you get, or if you get ejected from a game in terms of who takes over what duties? And the second, were you, I mean, you were frustrated for a better part of the game. Were you searching for at least the first technical in any capacity?
Well, the second one I didn't deserve. The first one I tried really hard to get. The second one I didn't even deserve it. If you're gonna if you're gonna throw me out, come on, just let me earn it. But I didn't like some of the calls, and I deserved the first. But enough.
You have a follow-up, Joey?
Logistically, the plan,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we've got coordinators. So we've got offensive coordinator and Jeff, defensive coordinator and Chester, and Tim handles substitutions, so all those guys kind of do themselves, and they sit there and whatever, both of them are all of them are running the huddles, so it's the way it works.
Brad, we might focus on the Big Ten race, and obviously you still want to win that. But how much of what you guys are doing now? You said you learned some things, you found some things.
March.
Yeah, how much is about
March.
building for that?
Yeah, I didn't do that last year. And we're doubling down on what we do, but we're always, I challenged our staff the other day. I said, I need 3 or 4 things that give us problems, and we gotta go figure it out now. And it's that time. And I felt like that was a problem in the Loyola game, and not that we were gonna win that game, but again, this is something we worked on a lot early, and now we've come back to, we can 5-way switch. We can put different lineups out there. It puts Luke, tonight, was a great opportunity if we'd had RJ with his size and length on Branham. We missed Ben, but I like the opportunities that present itself when we don't have to. We can throw somebody a curveball. It's not just load it up and go to Kofi every time.
Yeah.
Coach Andre Curbelo played 18 minutes, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Seemed like he was under control and pretty dialed in. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, he was terrific. And he's again a guy that Trent's our defensive stopper, and we had Plummer on a heater, so those gave those guys opportunities, and Phil did an admirable job of filling in when Trent had foul trouble in the first half, so we got to keep Trent aggressive. Trent's got to stay. We need Trent to have the mindset he's got to get 30 every night. When he has that mindset, he's really good. I got to get him going a little more.
Andy?
So with Kyle Young, they were able to kind of pick and pop and kind of 5 out offensively. How kind of hard did that make it for Kofi and for you guys defensively to guard that?
Very. So they're a hard matchup for us. They're a very, very hard matchup. And scouting report mistakes, because Kyle is an all right-hand driver. And he drove it 3 times right-handed. one on DeMonte and a couple on Kofi. And, you know, we've got to know that. But you know, again, it was, you know, it was a challenge. You know, you get Branham going downhill, and you know, he's an elite finisher. And you know, that's why the 5-out stuff worked. We could switch all that and level him off, and still stay with the, you know, with the pop guy.
Derek?
Coach, outside of the standard game of runs, is there anything you're noticing in these dramatic swings where you're up 13, 22-2 for them, you guys come back, just those stretches of dramatic one way or the other?
Yeah, tonight, and I think, you know, and I'm just, you can't ever fall in love with the three. You know, tonight we build a lead because it's all threes. And you've got to find, I always feel really good when we've got the balance. And, you know, we made a huge run, which is something new. We made a huge run tonight with Kofi out in that first half. And we had guys making shots. You know, in the past, some of it's been just Kofi overload. And I've been trying really hard to work on getting other guys into sets and actions that aren't Kofi. But again, it was, you know, the start of the second half was not very good execution on the defensive side, and they get on a run, and we're not, you know, we turn it over a couple of times, and you know, all of a sudden that runs, you know, 8-0.
Matt?
You said you're looking for curveballs. Is the press maybe one of them? If Kofi needs a breather, it seems to give you guys a whole bunch of energy. I know it's desperation mode, but it seems to give you guys a lot of energy when you're doing it.
Yeah, but I like it. You know me, I like aggressive, and you know, it's always been about, you know, changing the tempo, and it did tonight. And you know, I think the one thing that it did at Rutgers, you know, it's not that we got 2 or 3 steals out of it, but it just disrupted the flow and disrupts their timing and their flow, and you know, that's one of the things that I'm pretty excited about.
Joey?
Brad, with Coleman, I think it was him yesterday you were talking about when you said the season doesn't stop to kind of come back and catch. So what was important for you? How do you feel like you guys were able to kind of bring him back to sea level in the middle of a pretty heavy grind of a season there?
Yeah, you know, I think in Coleman's case, one of the things that I get excited about is that, you know, he cares. He cares about winning. You have to find out at some point when guys are struggling, guys are down, what they're, you know, how much you care. And you know, Coleman's case, he cared. So now it's just getting, you know, having that heart-to-heart, getting back into the gym, getting back working, getting, you know, not letting adversity just pile on. Let's go. And you know, outwork your adversity, and you know, I say it all the time, you'll come out on the other side.
Yeah, right.
Coach, just with that in mind, when it comes to Coleman, how important is that going to be for him to continue to play like this, as you mentioned with March on the horizon?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, he's a difference maker. There's no doubt. I mean, he and you know, I said the same thing about RJ. You know, before his appendicitis. You know, and it could be Luke. I mean, Luke was terrific tonight. Luke had 3 or 4 rebounds in the first half. You know, in a night where, I mean, Kofi had 1 defensive rebound. Are you kidding me? 1? And so Coleman does all those things. He's got a big offensive rebound late. He goes to the glass. He's just an active, long, skilled guy, and that's irreplaceable. That's an advantage to us.
Alec and then Jeremy.
Coach, since you've come to the league, you and Chris Holtman have had pretty good battles. Fans seem to talk a lot about the rivalry that you've built with Iowa and Michigan. Is something building with Ohio State that's maybe just as special between you 2 programs and 2 coaches?
Oh, I got a lot of respect for Chris. I mean, Chris and I came in together. I mean, he's, you know, he came in different circumstances. You know, he came in with pros, you know, taking over for Thad. And you know, it took us a while, but he's a really, really good coach. I challenged myself against him. Likewise, you know, we've gone to their place and won. He's came to our place and won. We've had, you know, it's battles. I don't know if it's a rivalry yet, but you know, it's 2 really good basketball teams that I think are pretty well coached to go at it every time.
We'll wrap up with Jeremy.
Alfonso,
tied the singles game 3-point record tonight with 8 makes. I know you've seen him do that with 11 at Utah one time, but what's it mean to get him right heading down this final stretch here?
Yeah, I mean, you go 8 for 10, guys, that's pretty good in a high-level game. You better account for him. You better account for him. And we ran a lot of actions to him in the first half. We were dialing that one up. But again, he's got the ability to make hard shots, and we don't want him to let off the gas. Let's build on that and keep that going as we head into the next 3 weeks, month.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.